And Hugh Durham saw me in the lobby of the hotel, and you would have thought he saw a ghost. He could not believe that someone was wearing a Georgia pullover at an SEC basketball tournament. I'll never forget it to this day. My dad and I laughed about it for years because I was a kid. I didn't get it till afterwards, but he was like shocked. We're in Atlanta. It's 55 to 60 miles down the road from Athens, and you'd have thought he ran into Santa Claus. And I was 12 years old.
Yeah,
but
not Santa.
Huh?
Not Santa Claus.
No.
That was Hugh?
But the Hugh Durham. But the Georgia hoodie was red with the black.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
So he stuck out.
Yeah, it was nice.
All the red. Like that.
Of course, it was, I probably weighed 40 pounds and it probably weighed 10. Because back then we believed in sweatshirts and hoodies weighing, like this.
Oh, that never would have existed.
This thin hoodie that I have on right now doesn't even weigh a quarter of a pound.
No.
I mean, people put on 10 pounds of clothes in 1983. They didn't put on that many clothes. That's just how heavy everything was.
When was the shift? Like, when do you remember getting something you were like, you know what? This is breathable.
The 80s were cruel. As far as fashion.
Sure, yeah.
Anyway, I don't care if it was casual or dress up.
It was tough.
It's a bad look. Big hair, big makeup, lots of hairspray. But I'm trying to think. Man, it was a while.
Y'all couldn't even wear jeans right.
No. Jeans were baggy and too long. Goodness gracious. Let's not do that.
Yeah, whenever they started adding polyester and all that back into the cotton, that was the move.
Yeah. Well, it took them a minute to perfect it.
That's right.
They had the right idea.
They did.
Yeah,
y'all had spandex. It just wasn't fashionable, right?
Yeah, I don't think there was a lot of.
Probably not.
Well, I guess like European rockers maybe were wearing it. Yeah,
that's probably right.
Hair bands,
no doubt,
were wearing spandex.
Yeah, they were.
So yeah, I get. My first thought is David Bowie and Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose, and maybe Billy Idol.
Yes.
I'm just trying to go through kind of spandex in the 80s.
Spot on.
Poison. Probably Bret Michaels, 1985.
Anybody the Tour de France?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Sure.
So they had.
I don't know if I watched much of the Tour de France in the 80s.
Did they
I assume it was on ESPN.
Really?
I don't know if it was or not, Jackson. For some reason, I see like Chris Fowler set up there in like 1987 because he called
everything.
He'd call a hamster race in Iowa in mid-July. Before really, for years he did the Scholastic High School show, or I don't even know what the hell they called it, but he did. Chris Fowler did all kinds of stuff for years before going to the big stage of host of Game Day. Now, of course, he and Kirk call the ABC night game, right? And other games. Now that ESPN holds the rights to the college football playoffs. But yeah, Fowler called everything and anything. If two spiders were racing in Michigan, he was there. So that takes me back to watching this Rich Eisen.
Yeah.
This is Sports Center. He just interviewed Linda Cohn, and I watched it a few days ago. She just retired from ESPN. She did more Sports Centers than anybody else, and they talked about that.
Yes.
And it's really incredible, her career, remarkable. All the different hats that she wore, but the fact that she hung with Sports Center for so long. Now, it sounds like she's going to join NHL.
Really?
Well, she moved out to the West Coast, and when ESPN shut down their ESPN, so when I was trying to build this studio, that's when we were going out for Visit Mississippi, Visit MS, and doing the Grammy shows.
Right.
And we were going out to LA, and I got to because we were doing the shows live from the Grammy Museum and it was connected to ESPN Studios, I went and toured the ESPN well, I lied my way in. Okay.
Right.
Anyway, I don't remember what I said. I think I said I was part of Feinbaum's show or something.
Nice.
But I have an ESPN business. We're an affiliate, but on my business card is this ESPN logo.
Yes.
And their studios it's funny, they're cool, but they're not even as nice as this studio.
No,
but they
really
were able to run inside the NBA and Sports Center out of there easily.
Right.
Because Kenny Mayne would have breakfast in the hotel right across the street from the Grammy Museum, the Staples Center, and the ESPN studios damn near every morning. That's the first time I ever met him. He had moved out there long time ago to do, any of them that could get out of Bristol would, if Bristol would allow them to do whatever they did from another location. And all of them jockeyed for the LA office. And when they would get snowed in and lose power, which surprises me with generators, they would flip it to the LA studio. A lot of people wouldn't even know. So anyway, Linda Cohn moved out there several years ago. No one has done more sports centers. Rich Eisen just interviewed her after interviewing Berman, Patrick, and Mike Greenberg. And I think she's going with the NHL because she's super tied in there. So I'm not sure. I think that's what I picked up.
Thought she had a boo thing over there.
Yeah.
One of the head coaches over there.
Okay.
They were close.
It was either NHL or MLB, but I think it's NHL.
It's NHL.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. She's 66 years old.
Yeah, and she's incredible. A powerhouse.
That is and she looks better now than she did then.
She's taking care of herself. Yeah.
Wow. She's done 5,000 plus.
How about that?
That really is.
I mean, she was the one that made it through the 25 iterations of Sports Center.
God.
Yeah.
I mean, she went wire to wire, didn't she?
Yeah.
It's
impressive.
Wow.
I don't know if she's already in the Broadcasters Hall of Fame, but if she's not, she will be.
5,000 shows. And
it's really been enjoyable to watch. If y'all are bored and trying to piece it together till football season, Rich Eisen is now back with ESPN. As y'all know, ESPN grabbed the NFL Network and this and that. And, of course, he's on during if Matt doesn't do his show, Rich Eisen's on in the midday now, which is great. He's doing this show called This is Sports Center, and he's interviewing people, and it's damn good. And he started with Dan Patrick, legend, then Chris Berman, who they kind of consider like the grand poobah of all of ESPN. And granted, he started with them in 1979 when they kicked off. And then Mike Greenberg, who's still doing Get Up, among other things. And then he just he's done this well before. They just dropped the Linda Cohn interview. And I'm sure there's going to be more. I want him to interview Craig Kilborn because Kilborn was so funny to me when I was in college and I was bartending and I would get home at night. That's what you did. You watched Sports Center for an hour or so before kicking, grabbed a slice of 2-day-old Domino's pizza and a cold beer, and then you go to bed. But there wasn't anything else. You get home from your bar shift at whatever time at night. And Craig Kilborn, to me, I loved him. And then for him to go to the, late show or whatever it was, and then he's done a podcast here recently that's actually pretty funny. Because he's a comedian.
Yeah.
But he did Sports Center.
Yeah.
And then he did late night TV.
Range.
Yeah, he does have range. He does have range.
Showing it out.
And he got paid by CBS. But I got to see the Craig Kilborn, and I wonder if they're going to get Charlie Steiner. I've heard Steiner's a real piece of work to deal with, but I can't remember. Steiner doing like the Giants play-by-play or the Yankees or
Dodgers.
Always get that wrong, damn it.
That guy.
Okay. Yeah, Steiner. We are the Out of Bounds Show, Morning Drive, baby. Morning Drive brought to you by Taste Italian Kitchen. I was there yesterday. They basically built another restaurant outside of Taste. The outdoor, it's all covered. It's going to have air conditioning. You'll be able to sit in there like on a day like today where it's going to be 120 and feel great. The bar is amazing. You'll have a menu out there. The new outdoor, basically, restaurant from Taste is incredible. Went on a little tour yesterday, and the air conditioning units are coming. It's going to be awesome. TasteItalianKitchen.com to make your reservation. Mike Detillier at 8:30.
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
All systems go.
Live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
This is Out of Order.
Live in the studio. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Low Bounds. Streaming live worldwide on the Out of Bounds radio app. And on your radio at ESPN 105.9. All set? Let's go. The Zone.
If you're smart, you go get somebody that's 300 pounds and smell like bacon that's ready to come out the end because we need defensive linemen.
Coleman Hutzler does it. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Speaking of bacon, the bacon appetizer at Kessler Prime and the Renaissance is delicious. Bacon and an Elijah Craig Old Fashioned pair perfectly together. Yeah, that bacon appetizer and an Elijah Craig Old Fashioned, award-winning from Heaven Hill. Elijah Craig Small Batch Old Fashioned with that bacon appetizer as they're cooking your ribeye medium rare. KesslerPrime.com to make a reservation. Anybody want to cook us ribs this weekend? Feel free. Hit us up on the Dancing Rabbit Golf text line 601-885-3776. 601-885-3776. I love ribs. Yeah. Ribs off the smoker, grill, whatever, egg. Good thing. I haven't cooked on my Gourmet Guru this year.
Oh.
So we're at June 30th, and we'll see. We will see.
Halfway through.
Now that could change this weekend. We'll see. What do you think? Should I fire it up?
Too hot.
It is hot.
So hot.
But I mean, you're just going to have to, if you're covered, even if you're covered out, I mean, you don't want to be direct in the sun. But if you're covered, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be a little warm.
A little coverage.
Yeah. So something to think about.
Yeah. That's what Chuck
Have you
told
ever
us
cooked
about.
ribs?
Yeah.
No, you haven't.
What did define cook?
Have you fired up a grill and smoked ribs slowly for depending on what you're wanting to do, hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5?
There were ribs on the grill.
Okay.
Something was smoking. And
Okay.
I was there. So I'm gonna say maybe.
Maybe.
There's a possibility.
Have you ever cooked a steak on a grill?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I can cook steak. I mean, it ain't that hard.
You're a well done guy.
So just throw it in there and let it get heated up, dude. It'd be all right.
You're a well done guy.
As long as you get a little pink in there,
Yeah.
Gotta have a little pink.
You probably put gravy on your steak
That'd
and
be pretty
A1
good.
sauce,
It just depends.
which is that's grounds for going to jail.
What about a hamburger steak?
Jail.
Dude, a hamburger steak.
Well, that's different. I'm talking about
Yes, I know.
a ribeye
Yeah.
or a hamburger steak. We're in two totally different zip codes.
What about rib tips? Or no, I'm sorry, beef tips.
Well, if they're quality,
Then you can't.
then we're talking.
I like beef
If
tips.
they're low quality, then I'm out. I'll pass.
So no gravy.
No, thank you. No,
Now
that's just to cover up for low quality meat.
that's fact. Love gravy.
Yeah, you do.
James Fancher says that I don't know how to light a grill via the text line, and that is probably true. I would not trust me to do that.
Could you light? I know a gas grill is just
Turn it
easy.
on.
Could you light an egg?
I've never seen one lit. What do you do with it?
Oh God! Well, you have to have a certain
You gotta have
type of charcoal,
right.
So you don't put the Weber charcoal
Dude,
in the egg.
I knew that.
Charcoal. You did?
I did know that.
Okay, good.
I did know that. I mean, if it's got an instruction manual, I can follow the instructions pretty well. He's fired up.
I think you could do it.
I know I can do it.
I mean, they've got all these cool little lighters that you just stick in there,
Right.
and then it just starts in like 2 minutes. It takes a minute to get rolling.
Yeah.
I don't really have, I cooked on it like 100 times or so, and then I'm good.
That's plenty.
Yeah. I gave that one that we had downstairs to the
Fireman.
down
Nice.
there at the fire station right there on the left on
They
463.
deserve it.
So, I mean, they got They got a gourmet guru grill that's been cooked on like 20 times.
Yeah. That's a steal.
They should cook for us.
I bet one of them can.
You know
throw
what?
it down.
That's what I'm going to do.
Bottom meat.
Because we brought them food before. We've taken them food.
Right.
I'm going to see if I buy the food, because they're there all during the morning. Like,
Sure.
it doesn't matter to them. They would cook at
All the time.
5 or 6 a.m. And so, that'd be ideal.
So one of them has to be able to they got to have like a designated guy, right? Like that guy's the cook.
I would think so.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure there's more than one, but there's like a main one, depending on the shift.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
But in every shift, you have a guy.
A guy.
Or you have a tag team.
Yeah.
Those are the guys who man the grill.
But there is someone reliable.
But then you have two guys standing by the grill who chat it up
Yes.
with the two guys that are in charge with the cooking, because it's a camaraderie thing. It's a teammate thing. You may have to grab something for them.
They're more important. They're just as important.
Okay.
Hey, you got to do, because I mean, it's the look good, feel good, play good deal. If if the combo's good around the grill, then I automatically feel like the guy behind the grill should be doing better.
Oh no. James Fancher on the Dancing Rabbit Golf text line. 601-885-3776. We want to hear from you this morning. Happy red, white, and blue summer. America 250. How about all the Europeans still throwing up videos of how much fun they've had in the United States, and what they heard was absolutely false.
Shocking.
The media has lied to them for decades. It's incredible. This is going to have just an incredible impact on so many generations over there, young and old, that are going to see things through a different lens. It's beautiful. James Fancher on the Dancing Rabbit Golf text line. Jackson doesn't know how to light a grill. Then he goes on to say, my mother-in-law likes hers well done. She mixes ketchup, A1, and lemon juice as her dipping sauce. No, thank you. You just may as well do meatloaf. I mean, there's no point in.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to do ruin a quality filet, ribeye, New York strip, porterhouse, tomahawk, whatever direction you're going.
T-bone from Waffle House.
No,
Okay.
I don't want that.
It's like
Waffle House is good for a reason, but I don't need to go in there and eat a steak, because that sounds
I've
no.
hammered that thing before. 10-ounce T-bone, baby.
How bad was that?
It was terrible.
Good God.
At that moment, couldn't have been
He
any
says
better.
he follows it up. She's also the sweetest soul alive, so it's okay. Amen to that.
She gets a pass.
She gets a pass. Hey, you can find us on X at Bo Bounds, and the Key City, Mississippi Queen. That's great beer out of Vicksburg, Mississippi. Pick some up this week for the red, white, and blue summer. Local beer. It's the top-selling craft beer in the state of Mississippi. Key City, Mississippi Queen. The caller line, 601-707-3750. I keep getting these questions. Bo, do you think Jeff Levy will make it after this year? If I had $1 for every text the last 60 to 90 days on the text line asking me, I don't know. I mean, I've got Minnesota stuff right here if you want to talk about it. I mean, we can talk about Drake Lindsay, and we can talk about PJ Fleck, because that is going to be a monster game for Jeff Levy and his career at Mississippi State. Week 2 at Minnesota against the Golden Gophers.
That's it. For the boat.
Y'all remember the TV show when we were growing up? Yeah. I mean, hello, coach. PJ Fleck has been there for a minute and won a lot. I don't understand why he's still there. But I know Minneapolis is nice in, July and August, September, October, or maybe April through October. But he's thrown up some wins. I mean, they've had a nice ride. That game is at Minneapolis, week 2, Mississippi State, Minnesota. Hey, we are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. The Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Mike Detillier coming up next. 8:30 on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. We'll talk Manning Passing Academy, Camario Taylor, Mississippi State, Trinidad Chambliss, Ole Miss. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. And, well, the show is brought to you by Matt Anderson at Southeastern Land Group. Are you looking for that incredible property that you want to hunt on or have your own farm or just family land or combo? Well, you want to call Matt Anderson, Southeastern Land Group right now. And he's got the in on land that's not even listed because he's sold several tracts in the last few months and God knows how much over the course of his career. Matt Anderson, Southeastern Land Group, 601-408-5155. Call Matt Anderson today with Southeastern Land Group for your next beautiful piece of property. Bowbound Straight Funk with you. We'll have Mike Detillier at 8:30, and then Dean Scott Graw, Dean of the College of Business for Mississippi State. His nephew just signed with Mississippi State baseball and Brian O'Connor. That's pretty cool. I think from South Dakota State. Yeah. I'll talk Minnesota football. Okay, so we got a text or two here. We hit Camario in Trinidad, and you know, as you look at PJ Fleck's been pretty good considering who they are and where they're located. You know, Minneapolis is not a hotbed for high school football recruiting. Not that they don't have some players here and there. And there's still some spots in the Midwest, right, that you have super tough and athletic kids because the Big Ten, you know, I mean, look, they've got good players.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So PJ Fleck's done a good job. I thought he would have been out of there by now, excuse me, but he's not. That's not good. You would rather them be on another coach and like in year 2 and he's kind of scrambling around. Well, kind of like Levy. Yeah. You know, you'd like for them to be on like Joe Moorhead type hire.
No doubt.
And that way you'd be like, oh, dude, we can go up here with Camario Taylor and Zach Arnett because we're actually going to line up. I don't know how good you're going to be. I don't know what your personnel's like, but you're actually going to line up right.
Yeah. Okay,
and have some good schemes on the defensive side of the football, right? And believe in tackles for loss. And so but PJ Fleck's a good coach.
He won 11 ball games in Minnesota.
Right, at Minnesota. There's not a lot of coaches that can win 11 ball games at Minnesota. All right.
That's all I need.
Or 11 at Ole Miss or 11 at Mississippi State.
Right.
Lane won 11 at Ole Miss. Dan won 10 at Mississippi State. I mean, that's cool stuff. South Carolina. Spurrier won 11 3 years in a row. Still beyond remarkable, and people don't understand. That's like going to the Final Four in the college football playoff, doing that in Columbia. 11 wins, 11 wins, 11 wins. What Frank Beamer did at Virginia Tech, we talk about it all the time. Bill Snyder at Kansas State. There's some others. What Barry Alvarez did at Wisconsin is filthy.
Yeah.
Heck, Kirk Ferentz, Scott Graw's rival. He's an Iowa State guy.
Hey.
What Kirk Ferentz has done at Iowa, you know, I know they don't believe in scoring points and they want to put you to sleep by the second quarter, but they're going to win 7-3 a lot.
Dang right.
Matt Campbell at Iowa State did an unbelievable job considering where they are, and then took the Penn State job.
Yeah.
You know, is he really going to elevate them even more than James Franklin? Probably not.
No.
But he just signed a big deal, 4-generation, you know, he'll make $100 million. He went and took the bag. I couldn't believe he stayed at Iowa State as long as he did. Ferentz is, I guess, the longest tenured.
Oh, no doubt.
Is he the longest tenured P4 coach?
Gotta be.
I'm what are we talking about? Late 90s?
Yes.
98, 99?
That is.
We had him on in 2007 or 8, and he laughed. This is funny as hell. He actually got it. I don't know what we were. No, was it what was the kid's name? Brad Banks or something from Hines that signed with Iowa to go play quarterback, and he was dual threat.
Yes.
Maybe this is 05, 06. I don't remember. Y'all help me out there. Brad something or Banks Brad. You know, it was kind of Cool sports name. Sounds like a
Brad Banks.
okay. And didn't he go to Hines?
And then the Redskins. Yeah. Hines,
Okay.
Iowa Redskins.
That's why we had Kirk Ferentz on years ago, and he goes, "I will never forget this." I was like, "Hey man, how are you?" He went, "Good. I never thought I'd be asked to be on a sports talk radio show in the summer." I said, "Okay, well that's the difference. We cover SEC football year round." And it was good to catch up with him. My point in that is Matt Campbell just left Iowa State to take the Penn State job. PJ Fleck is still at Minnesota after almost like a decade run. Well, here's what we got. Drake Lindsey is their quarterback. He's actually pretty good. He's 6'5", 230 pounds. He started all the games last year. He completed over 63% of his passes.
That's solid.
Please understand, they play uphill.
Yeah.
Like Mississippi State and Ole Miss, or Ole Miss did for years. They're not right now because they've closed the gap. But he threw for 2,400 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 6 picks.
Not bad.
So he's got some reps under his belt. And he was the starter last year, and they had a 4-star behind him that I guess thought he was going to get it. And he saw the writing on the wall, and he transferred last December in the portal. So remember that name, Mississippi State fans. Drake Lindsey is the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Now, if you watch his videos, which we've been watching this morning, I mean, he does look the part. He made some plays. He actually made some plays against Ohio State. So you know how much more talent Ohio State has than Minnesota, right? It's like right now the difference between Mississippi State and LSU or Georgia. Hell, maybe even Ole Miss. Yeah. And so let me kind of go through what he did here. They played Jason Eck in New Mexico in the bowl game, in which Bartu says that Jason Eck could be the next one of the next guys that is targeted by a P4 team because he's out at New Mexico with a budget of, $55,000 and he's winning games. But Minnesota, New Mexico played and Minnesota won in OT 20-17 for whatever that's worth. Yeah. He had some not okay games and some good games. It was a struggle, it looks like, against Oregon, which is understandable. Dan Lanning and that talent's the gap, kind of like Ohio State. They beat Wisconsin, beat Michigan State in OT. I know Michigan State wasn't any good. So, but he's gotten reps, is my point.
Yeah.
And he threw it 389 times.
Passing.
Okay? So that's racking up.
No doubt.
Right? And he's got some... Camario played a lot at the end. He played all the reps against Ole Miss and all the reps against Wake Forest and got a chunk of them against Arkansas, and then it was kind of, just a few here and there. I can't remember how long Blake was down. Anyway, but the point is he's not like a super veteran.
No.
But he's got a little bit more experience than Camario. He's more of a passer. Camario, I think, is going to be more of a runner early if they're,
smart.
Yeah, and kind of mix in what he can do well, hopefully. Hopefully they're focused on what Camario can do well instead of what I want Camario to be.
That'd be great.
Because he's still I know everybody's hyped after this weekend. We're about to talk to Mike Detillier, who is at the Manning Passing Academy. I'm going to say it. Y'all are tired of me saying it. He's a true sophomore who hasn't played that much, Camario Taylor. Mike Detillier coming up next, powered by Fleetway Market and the Market Cafe in Gluckstadt. Here we go. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
It ain't bragging if you can back it up.
We're brought to you by Sound and Communications for your next video wall, for your conference center, your super cool hotel or business lobby, or your engineering or business school or high school, powered by Sound and Communications. They are the leader in video walls. SEC schools, G5 schools, churches, businesses, soundcomav.com. From Texas A&M to Mississippi State, they've done work, and everywhere in between. I don't know how many SEC schools it is, but it's a bunch. Sound and Communications. We welcome in our friend Mike Detillier, WWL Radio TV New Orleans. This man has been on a tear. Offensive line camp, Manning Passing Academy, shows on WWL, and everything else he's got going on. But coming out of the weekend, there was some buzz around Camario Taylor. Finally, a little buzz around Mississippi State football. It has been a rough 3 years. But Camario's 6'4", 230 pounds, highly recruited. He's now a true sophomore. Played a little bit last year. Should have played more. But here we go. We want to get Mike Detillier's thoughts. Mike, what did you think about seeing Camario Taylor at the Manning Passing Academy?
Yeah, he was impressive to me. I know we talked about it last week, but he just so happened to be throwing the ball in the field right behind where we were going to do the interviews Friday morning. And so I spent some time watching him there. And again, we did our 4-hour remote at Manning Passing Academy. So I saw him as he was warming up for the Air It Out contest, and I watched him again Saturday afternoon. So I got a good look at him. He really threw the football well. He spoke to me about bettering his mechanics as a passer. He felt as though the problem for him wasn't so much when he was moving sort of left or right, but when he was getting pressure and would try to evade the rusher and was not setting his feet on those throws. And you see a much more fundamentally better passer with his throws. He felt as though with more experience in finding secondary receivers, it would help him. And that he felt that it was a little bit overrated getting a ton of reps in with new receivers. He said, man, that comes pretty quickly with some of the guys. And he really praised the new set of receivers, many of them from the junior college ranks that Mississippi State had gotten in. He said, man, with some of them, we had a rapport, and he said it was really quick. So he sounded upbeat about the season. He is a big guy, and he's got a rocket for an arm, man. So he tells me the story that about being recruited by LSU, and that they didn't recruit him as a quarterback. The former regime was trying to recruit him as safety. So when I asked him about Lane Kiffin, he was like, well, they didn't recruit me much either. So, yeah, it was an interesting conversation with a guy who was one of the top 5 players in the state of Mississippi. And to find out it was lukewarm at best, I guess, interest from Ole Miss. And LSU liked him, but not at quarterback, at safety. And he'd have been one of the biggest safeties I've seen here. I know Jeffrey Dale played safety at LSU. He was like a 6'5" safety years and years ago. But, yeah, he was really impressive with his arm talent and also to his focus on getting better. He really, you can tell, is focused in on this season, and he feels as though so many close games last year that slipped away from him that they have to find that, overall balance to be able to close out those games in the fourth quarter. I was very impressed with him. Out of all the quarterbacks going into it, from what I had seen, and I hadn't seen a ton of Taylor, I've seen a little bit of him play. He he jumped out at me as a guy that was the most surprisingly positive player from that group. I thought he threw the football extremely well, very accurate, and played with a sense of confidence. And that's what you want from your quarterback.
Sure. Mike Detillier talking to Kamario Taylor at the Manning Passing Academy. It'll be his offense this year. He sat behind Blake Shapen. Things kind of went sideways, and Kamario got to play a lot against Arkansas, Ole Miss, and Wake Forest kind of at the end of the year. Mike D does his show every year from the Manning Passing Academy, and it's a who's who of college football, NFL, and everything else. And it's turned into a kind of a mega star camp, but they also get good work done, as Mike knows. Mike, did you get a chance to, I'm sure you did you get a chance to see and talk to Trinidad Chambliss?
Yeah, I talked to him. He was on a field that was on way up in the front part of campus. And so he was a little bit later getting to the presser. Man, he hadn't sat down good. And they must have had 30 microphones stuck in him. So they were all around him. And what I'm impressed with him, and I'll say this, Arch Manning too, with all this attention and everybody's focus, they handled this so well with a lot of poise, a lot of class, to be able to handle this just barrage of questions. And I knew it would happen for Trinidad, just because of what's going on in week 3 up against, Lane Kiffin and company. And with Arch, he didn't start off well. And, he finished the season pretty well. But it was a rough beginning for him. And both of them handled that really well. Bo, and for, a lot of was, well, that's their job right now, and they're getting paid for it. Yeah, all that's true. Put yourself as a 20, 21-year-old, 22-year-old, and having to fool with that, and get all those questions. It's not as easy as you might think it is. But there's always a bunch of smart asses in the world that think they know everything about everything. But I was impressed with, one, that Trinidad's his work ethic and what he put into this at Manning, in that he really is about trying to improve his overall game. And that's something he brought up with me. I actually walked with him back. He had somebody sort of have to drive him because he was on a field that was so far away. He didn't have to do this, but, he did. And he was very upbeat about the season. He felt as though they had some opportunities. They do have some changes offensively, but that just him getting better, more comfortable in the offense. And he was like, I would say 98% of the interviews I did, they all talked about their foot mechanics. And he brought up about, a lot of his game is scrambling away and getting away from people and throwing on the move and setting his feet and just targeting his receiver better. And he also talked about finding, his second and third receivers downfield in that offense, because a lot of it is quick. It's designated right off the bat. But if that guy's covered, then you got to check off real quickly. And just his, not only his physical skills, because he is so accurate throwing on the move, but just his mental ability to process all this when Manning's coming at you really, really fast. And he laughed when I told him about the story about John Summerall. After they played him, it was his second start, and I was like, Coach, how good is he? He said, he was a lot better than I thought he was. He just laughed. And he told me a story I have not heard, and Archie repeated it that night. He was invited to Manning Passing Academy last year. He was at Ferris State, and Archie made the call and invited him. He accepted, and then he decided to transfer to Ole Miss. And, Archie has a deal. He doesn't want to do this, to have two quarterbacks from the same school. And so Archie had to uninvite him. And Archie told me it was so difficult to do, but he said I had to do it because, if you do it for one, then, everybody wants it.
Right.
After that.
Makes sense.
But he told him, he said, "Don't worry, Mr. Archie, I'll be back next year. I'll be the one." So sure enough, he was. But just how he handles all of this is really impressive. For a 20-something-year-old guy, and the spotlight's thrown on him pretty hot, and how well he's been able to handle this. And I thought he threw the football really, really well. It's very accurate. Again, we've seen this with his ability to make plays off the waggle, left or right, and just hit a target dead on. And these guys are not throwing to their own receivers. And I was really, really impressed with him. I thought from an accuracy standpoint, the two guys that really, really stood out, one was Trinidad, and the other guy I thought probably had the best camp, and that was C.J. Carr from Notre Dame. I'll be honest, Bo, when the season started last year, I knew about his lineage, his genetics with his grandfather and his dad, and, both grandfathers and his dad that were, former players and coaches. I didn't know how physically gifted he was as a passer. And he really sold me over during the season, watching him up close and personal. Man, I know that schedule's not real tough, but, man, at Notre Dame, you look at that schedule, I don't see how they lose more than one game, but he really, really was impressive to me throwing the football. His mechanics, his ability to know exactly where to go on throws. He was one of the guys they brought up to the chalkboard when they had the 45 starting quarterbacks. Peyton brought him up to draw up plays for the other counselors. So
wow.
I thought C.J. Carr really threw the football extremely well at the Manning Passing Academy. And, again, with that schedule, and now more emphasis because when you lose your two top backs, and both of them went round one, you're going to have a lot more water to carry this year than last year.
Yeah.
You could just turn around and hand the football off. Not that they won't have some talented backs, but they won't be as good as the two guys that he lost. But, again, another young man who's very focused. Man, it's all business with him, 100%. And doing that interview, he cocked a little smile at the end, but he is all business in taking this very seriously. And the most physically gifted guy there, though, was C.J. Bailey, North Carolina State. I'm not kidding you. Because I told a couple guys I had watched him earlier that morning on the Friday, and I'd watched him at North Carolina State. I was impressed with him, and he was one of the watch guys for me. And then when you see him, and he is all of 6'6", and he's got a whip for an arm, and he can get that ball out and fast out to receivers. And very accommodating young man. Again, talked about, probably had 15 teams that were interested in him to transfer, decided to stay at North Carolina State. He was one of the few guys that stayed.
Wow.
They lost a lot. But when he stood up and we were talking, I told him he reminds me of a taller Jaden Daniels. And he said, "I just can't run like him." Mr. Mike, I can't run like Jaden, but man, Jaden was 6'4", and he's sort of thin build. Well, C.J. Bailey is 6'6" with a little change, and built sort of like Jaden. Man, does that ball come out of there fast? And he was very impressive also throwing the football. I know it's not an SEC school, but you'll be seeing and reading a lot about Bailey.
Okay. Mike Detillier walking us through the Manning Passing Academy. Camario Taylor and Trinidad Chambliss impressed people. And Mike just talked about C.J. Carr at Notre Dame. and C.J. Bailey at North Carolina State. Dave Doran and NC State keeping him. That's impressive. All right, so Mike, who do you think out of all the guys coming back this year, who in your opinion is the best quarterback in America in college football?
Yeah, I'd love to have seen Dante Moore here, but he was with his coach in Japan in promoting college football. I'm going to say it's C.J. Carr. I really was impressed with C.J. And I think, you look at that schedule and it is not the most daunting, but he's got a lot of talent, a lot of talent. So I would go with C.J. Carr as the guy, for me, that stood out the most at Manning.
What do you think? I know you're tied in heavily to the Manning family. You've covered all of them and so on over the years. Do you think Arch is just going to be really good? Or, do you think Arch can be like Josh Allen in the NFL? I mean, really good would still be incredible, but, do you see him as, hey, Bo, he's going to be a really good player, or unbelievable, possibly generational talent like a Josh Allen?
And when Josh came here, Archie and I, in our interview, because we did 3 of them Friday, but different outlets, Josh Allen was not Josh Allen when he came here. Okay? He wasn't the Josh Allen we see today. When he came here, and I'll tell you that story about, he had talked about, Mike, move your camera, man, because Josh Allen's up to throw. And he had saw him throw a couple times before I got there. On the Thursday, they would practice throwing the football. And Josh was erratic here. He was not, he was built like a lumberjack, sort of like he's a little bit more filled out today, but he didn't really light it up here at Manning. And then to see his progress as a quarterback, I think Arch can be a really, really good player. No question about it. He's got the smarts. He's got the talent. He's got the work ethic that he puts in. And, for all quarterbacks, you go through difficult times. Every one of them will tell you a story about that they go through difficult times. Arch handles things very, very well. But, when you're carrying that last name and what your grandfather did, what your uncles did, that's a tremendous amount of expectations put on you. And Archie kind of made it known, hey, listen, a lot of people crowned him before he ever really played. And he had to carry that. And he went through a tough stretch, but he came out. And I think he'll be a very good player in college football. Really do. I have no doubt about it that he'll be a very good player. But you're always going to be compared to your 2 uncles, because that's in most people's memory of watching Eli and Peyton. Is it fair or not? Doesn't matter. You got to carry it. And that 15-year-old that Peyton has in Marshall Manning, who was a camper here, he's going to have to carry it eventually also. So it's part of the good and the bad. And as Archie told me, hey, I'm there just to be a positive influence with him, and if he needs any help, I try to, talk to him, help him get through difficult moments. But I think he'll be a very good player, but no question about it. He's got the talent to do it. And he's on a very good football team.
No doubt.
You had a guy like Coleman at receiver, and they've already got a couple of them there. Their offensive line is going to be key. And talking to different people there, it's sort of like LSU. It's going to be to keep Arch healthy, and just like at LSU, is going to keep Sam Levitt healthy, who was not here because he was, he's still recovering from his Liz Frank injury. But I like Arch a lot. I think he'll be a very, very good college player. And talking to Timmy Brando yesterday, Tim feels as though Texas got a real shot at the national championship, and he thought Ohio State and Texas. He did also include Ole Miss as a team that could be there at the end. So interesting that he put it up in there. But, again, Ohio State's a team that has really got a lot of talent.
Oh, yeah.
I had to talk to Julian saying it. When I asked him about Jeremiah Smith, he was like, well, he's one-on-one. There's not a lot of guys like him. And he said, it's what's unbelievable is some of the throws you make to him, he's actually covered, and he still comes down with the catch. So you rarely hear a quarterback will say that, even when he's covered, he's open. And that is what Smith has done at the collegiate level.
All right. Wow. There's some big-time talent, either returning or new players. Like, nobody knows much about Camario Taylor, but then you've got Dante and Trinidad and Arch and Julian Sayin and, Mike just talked about C.J. Bailey and Sam. There's some serious talent coming into this year. A lot of them will be draft eligible. We're expecting a much deeper class, as Mike D knows. So we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let me just throw this out for the last thing. This is 30 years of Manning just happened. I've been to 27 of the 30. And Archie and I talked about this. This may be the most star-studded group of quarterbacks they've ever had here. And one guy we didn't talk about, we can talk about it next week, is Drew Mestamaker.
Yeah.
From Oklahoma State, who was at North Texas. And, man, can he throw the ball. So this was a really good group. And to think about, there could be 9 to 10 starting quarterbacks that were here over the weekend at Manning Passing Academy in the NFL that were here at Manning. I don't remember another year when you can point to that.
Wow. I can't wait. I'm fired up. This is going to be a hell of a football season. I mean, it always is, but this one could have a little more fire on it. He's Mike Detillier, WWL Radio TV New Orleans, at the Manning Passing Academy this past week, offensive line camp the week before. Somebody needs to give Mike D 3 or 4 days off for the 4th of July. Mike D, you're the best. We appreciate it. We'll talk next week, okay?
Yeah, I got one more left to do. So I stopped at the 4th, but that's it. I appreciate it. Thanks.
This guy, LSU, he does LSU, New Orleans Saints, WWL Radio TV New Orleans. Mike D on the Farm Bureau Insurance Guest Line, brought to you by Independent Roofing Systems, #1 in the commercial and industrial roofing space. Done right the first time. And look at the projects they have completed from DeSoto County to Gulfport and Biloxi. Roofing.ms, powered by Independent Roofing Systems. We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. We'll ask the question again. Mississippi State football fans, you haven't had a lot to get excited about. Are you excited about Camario Taylor?
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
All systems go.
Live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
This is Out of Order.
Live in the studio. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Streaming live worldwide on the Out of Bounds radio app. And on your radio at ESPN 105.9. All set? Let's go. The Zone.
Scott's mic result. All right, good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Show is brought to you by the Mississippi State University College of Business. Visit the site today, business.msstate.edu, the online MBA program. Last year, or maybe it was the year before, number one in the country, best value MBA program name. I mean, that's a hell of an award. Business.msstate.edu. We've got Dean Scott Graw, who's Dean of the College of Business on the campus of Mississippi State University, joining us on ESPN 105.9 The Zone. And usually Scott is the star of the show when he's on, but now his nephew has decided to kind of throw a trump card out, an ace here, because Nolan Graw has signed with Brian O'Connor to play baseball, and Scott Graw, who is sitting next to me in the studio, played baseball at Iowa State, and now his nephew will play baseball at Mississippi State. How cool is that? First of all, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Happy summer to you.
It is.
And your crew. What? All right, walk me through this. Your nephew is now on the Mississippi State baseball team. You were recruited by Ron Polk. You wanted to stay close to home, which makes sense. You played at Iowa State, which is cool. You've taken that competitive drive and temperament to the College of Business in a good way. What did it mean to you? And walk me through who Nolan Graw is.
So Nolan is my nephew. So he is my brother's son. Okay. And so my brother played baseball at Wartburg College. We're a baseball family. We all love and almost live and breathe baseball a lot. But Nolan had a fantastic high school career, has been playing at South Dakota State for the last couple of years. And honestly, this has been a whirlwind because we had a great season. And again, who knows what's going through his head, but I've got no clue that he's planning to enter the transfer portal or anything else like that. He's just loving playing ball and having a successful season at South Dakota State. And then I get a text from my brother, "Hey, we're coming down to check things out." And he was in and out in a heartbeat. And I get a text before they leave town. Nolan's a Bulldog, and we're over the moon. We're excited. So I'm still trying to process the whole thing.
So it happened fast.
Very fast. Very fast.
And you didn't know for weeks, right? I mean, this wasn't something where you knew for weeks this could happen.
Oh, no. He finished. So South Dakota State, they had a great run at the end of the season. They went to the regionals. They were in that regional with Nebraska, Arizona State, and Ole Miss.
Right.
So they had a gauntlet to get through. Obviously didn't get through it, but I just knew that they were finishing up the regionals. He was heading up to Alaska to play summer ball. And next thing I know, he's on a plane from Alaska to Starkville, Mississippi, and meeting with the coaching staff and everything else. And even while they were here, anytime family's in town, you're going to get together, you're going to hang out.
Sure.
They were, jam packed. So I get a text from my brother about 9:45 at night. "Hey, you still up? You want to get together and kind of debrief the day?" And of course, I jumped at that.
Sure.
And, we're excited.
So where do they live? They live in Iowa?
So Appleton, Wisconsin.
Oh, Appleton, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Okay.
13 hours and 25 minutes away by Google Maps. As my brother has texted me and let me know. So yes, they'll be down a lot.
How would you played college baseball? Dean Scott Graw on the Out of Bounds Show, Dean of the College of Business, Mississippi State University, hanging out with us on 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. How would you describe Nolan, as a player?
Relentless, committed. I mean, the guy is a sponge when it comes to learning and adapting his swing, but he loves the fastball. I mean, there's not a fastball out there that scares him. So he's excited to play against SEC pitching. He's also a phenomenal defender. I
read that.
He had a great year. One of the things, from a family standpoint, you had a great season, but you know what? You had the number 3 play on the SportsCenter top 10 one night because of a defensive play that he made. So, I mean, we get excited about things like that, but he's a very strong defender, a good hitter. He hits for power, and he's a smart ball player.
South Dakota State, like Scott said, they went to the regionals out in Nebraska, which is a big deal. And now Nolan Grawl will transfer to Mississippi State, and your daughter will be a sophomore?
She will.
Okay. And so we'll have the Grawl cousins on campus.
It is. And my daughter's excited to have a cousin on campus.
Sure.
I'll tell you what, we've spent some time talking about my connections to Iowa State and so forth, but by the time it's all said and done, I'm going to have a nephew with a Mississippi State degree, daughter with a Mississippi State degree, my wife with at least one Mississippi State degree because she's in the grad school here. So we're going to have more Mississippi State degrees on our walls than any other school in the country.
I love hearing that. business.msstate.edu to find out more about everything that's going on in the College of Business on the campus of Mississippi State University. How far is Iowa State to Appleton, Wisconsin, Scott?
Iowa State to Appleton, Wisconsin. That's probably about 6 hours.
Okay, so it's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bad.
And did your brother play high school or college ball?
So my brother played for Wartburg College, Division III.
Okay.
Baseball.
Dang, y'all
So
got a bunch of athletes.
Yeah, he was a pitcher there. We like I said, we love our baseball.
Is he older or younger?
He's a year younger than I am. So I was playing at Iowa State same time he was playing at Wartburg. So we actually never really saw each other play in college. So we're both looking forward to being able to watch our nephew play together.
Was he blown away with Duty Noble?
Oh yeah, it's how can you not be?
Right.
That conversation that we had at the end of that long day, most of it was on the facilities and just the coaching staff and the way that he was treated and the research that they had done before he even got to campus. They were amazed and blown away at how much film that they had already seen. They knew exactly what they were getting before he even walked onto campus. Yeah.
The attention to detail from O'Connor, both, as you know, academically and athletically, is insane. And I mean, he does that whole thing. I mean, he wants you to know, here's what you'll be doing. Here is what my expectations for you, baseball wise, but also here's what's happening academically.
Oh yeah.
He's locked in on that.
He is. He's locked in. We're fortunate to have him. We love having him at the helm over there in the baseball program. Scott
Grawl on the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. He's going to join us for another segment. He may have a funny story about a Costa Rica trip here within the last couple of weeks. And then we'll talk about the momentum and some of the things happening in the College of Business. Summer doesn't stop. They've still got students on campus, summer 1 and 2. My daughter just graduated with a business degree from Mississippi State University, landed a phenomenal job with a great company, and she was challenged throughout her stay there. So that's a good. Mom and Dad are always excited when you get a really good job. You get a big time degree and a really good job, and we're moving her Sunday out of state. So that's exciting too. Dean Scott Grawl, we'll hold him over for one more segment. His nephew, Nolan Grawl, is now on the Mississippi State baseball team, and he is one of Brian O'Connor's players. That's pretty cool. Appleton, Wisconsin, South Dakota State, and now Mississippi State University. Scott Grawl on the Out of Bounds Show coming up next. All right, Wes, make sure we got both mics up. All right, good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Dean Scott Graw, Dean of the College of Business on the campus of Mississippi State University, joins us in studio. And that was a cool story. We're excited that his nephew has joined Brian O'Connor's Mississippi State baseball team. And Scott's daughter is a student at Mississippi State. His wife is a student at Mississippi State. And now we've got the nephew, Scott's brother's son, is on the Mississippi State baseball team. That's super cool. South Dakota State, he played for them this past year and had a heck of a year. And they went to the NCAA regionals, which is awesome. Had to be an amazing experience for him. And then the family come down and get to see, the Carnegie Hall of college baseball and the best stadium and fan base and so on. And hey, the Dogs had a good year. Super regionals, good year. And I know that O'Connor, year one, O'Connor's going to continue to build and do some really cool things. So Nolan Graw is on the Mississippi State baseball team with Brian O'Connor, and we're talking to Scott Graw on ESPN 105.9 The Zone. All right, you got to take a trip to, you're busy, you're moving. You travel a lot. You go, what I love, and you and I talked about this when we met and cultivated our friendship and business relationship, is you've traveled all over the country to visit with Mississippi State business alums, which I think is incredibly powerful and important. So you're moving and shaking a lot, but you and your wife went to Costa Rica a week or two ago. How was it?
It was great. We went down there. Basically, there's another couple that we typically travel with, and the goal was just go relax, kick back for a week, decompress, unplug, all that good stuff. We get there, you're sitting, enjoying the beach and whatever, and then we get a tropical storm that comes in, so that brings waves up, darn near to the pool there. That finally starts to go back out, and then we get an earthquake to kind of shake things up for a little bit. Fortunately, no damage or anything, but finally, by the time we're getting ready to leave, we had a little bit of time to relax and enjoy some beach time and some nice weather. But it was certainly interesting. And while I was there, I bet I ran into more people from Iowa and Mississippi while I was in Costa Rica. It felt like I never left.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was fun to see it. I'm wearing my Mississippi State visor. And hey, are you from Starkville? That so-and-so's got that house right there, and so-and-so's got that place right over there. It was absolutely amazing.
That's cool. Business.msstate.edu. Scott Graw on the Out of Bounds Show. Had you been to Costa Rica before?
No, first time. Loved it.
Did you like your resort or wherever you were?
I did. Yeah. We were beachfront, so we had. My wife loves to spend some time in the water.
Same with mine.
It was perfect.
That's awesome. Okay, we talked about the competitions last time you were on the air.
We did.
I think that's pretty cool and powerful that your students are competing all around the country. Last time we talked to you, they had been out to the West Coast. They had won. They had been out to the East Coast. They had won. I like that you and your team are pretty locked in and focused on your students competing with other students throughout their tenure at Mississippi State.
It is. It's fun to see them compete and do well. And of course, now we're in the summertime, so we're just getting ready to plan out the competitions for the coming year. And as we're doing that, we're already starting to think through, putting teams together and taking some of our best and brightest students and putting some case competition teams together, both at the MBA level and undergraduate level. But getting ready and planning out where in the country we're going to go, and we do it across almost all of our disciplines. We'll find an opportunity to go out and compete with other schools. And part of the fun in doing that is when you go to a competition, you're often partnered with an organization, a company that has provided a real business problem, and they've asked students from a number of universities to go to work. And you don't get an entire semester to solve this problem. Sometimes you've got to solve it in 48 hours, present in front of some real business executives, and wow them with your presentation. And in some cases, these students come up with some amazing ideas.
Yeah, and these business executives, they want solutions. So that's great. That's a challenge for your students.
It is. They want solutions. So they're providing good feedback just in terms of the way they thought through the data and the way they present. So the students are also learning and getting feedback on how they're performing while they're at these competitions as well.
Scott Grawl on the Out of Bounds show. All right, it's recruiting season, and you want high school students to visit McCool Hall and to visit the campus of Mississippi State and to go to business.msstate.edu and schedule tours, right?
Yeah.
Out of state and in state.
We do. And I'd say to all of your listeners, if you know of a student that's in high school or up and coming student who's got potential and they're doing great work, let us know and push them toward us. Because
point.
Just like any coach out there that's recruiting for their upcoming sports season, whether it's baseball, we've talked a lot about baseball recruiting and so forth, but as a college of business dean, I'm also out there trying to recruit students as well. We want the best and brightest in our college of business because one, we're putting together these competition teams. We're going to go out and compete. Two, we've got companies that rely on us for talent, and we want to make sure we're putting the best and brightest out there for those companies because they've got problems to solve. They know that when they come to Mississippi State's College of Business, that they're getting talent that they can rely on to move their company forward. And we need to make sure that we're finding the best, whether they're here in Mississippi or beyond, to make sure that we're filling that pipeline appropriately.
Scott Grawl on the Out of Bounds show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We've got a couple of minutes here. We had a question here about your Entrepreneur Center.
Yes.
I mean, I've been in it. I know students that have been through it. It's a heck of a program.
It is. We've done some amazing things. We've got, so entrepreneurship is a brand new major. We just added entrepreneurship as a major. It's one of our fastest growing majors on campus.
Love it.
But our e-center is working with startup organizations, students who have business ideas, helping them put together that business plan, figure out how do you raise money and how do you turn this product or this idea into a successful business. We've had some great success stories. Even those that, go through the program, if their business doesn't turn out to be this wild success, and we do have several that do turn into wild success, what you learn through the process, and any entrepreneur out there will tell you, not everything that you touch turns to gold, but what we do is we help the students realize, here's how you can learn something from each experience and take that and make the next one better. Nick Pashos, who runs our center, is doing a great job working with these students. We also work with startups from across the country, and we've got programs that attract them to Starkville.
Nice.
So even it goes beyond just the students at Mississippi State. We're doing what we can to draw startups from around the country into Starkville, provide resources, whether it's our MBA program and other investment opportunities, but encourage them to plant their business in the Golden Triangle and then hire our students from there. So we're taking a lot of different approaches to the way we do entrepreneurship at Mississippi State.
And yes, the Entrepreneurship Center and program inside the College of Business is on fire. Now, real quick, I got 30 seconds. If there's an alum that's listening that wants to get involved, you or someone on your team want to talk to them.
Yes, definitely. You can reach out. You can reach us all at business.msstate.edu. You've pointed that out. But if you just want to hear more about what we've got going on in the College of Business and you want to have lunch, reach out to me. I'm happy to do it. If you've got a student that you want us to talk to, reach out to me. I'm happy to reach out to that student as well. So I love getting emails and phone calls from your listeners.
Business.msstate.edu. Dean Scott Grawl and the team doing a great job on the campus of Mississippi State University. We'll be back in a second. Here we go. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
It ain't bragging if you can back it up.
We're brought to you by Sound and Communications. For your next video